Imagine calling your parents for help after your car slides into a ditch. You're on the phone with them for 47 minutes, guiding them to your location, saying you can see the lights of town. Then, mid-sentence, you say, "Oh, shh," and the line goes dead. Your parents arrive at the location, your car's there, but you're gone. No trace, no footprints, no body, no answers. In 2008, 19-year-old Brandon Swanson vanished while on the phone with his father. This is Cold Trail. Brandon Victor Swanson was 19 years old in May 2008. He was from Marshall, Minnesota, a small town of about 13,000 people. Brandon had just finished his freshman year at Minnesota West Community and Technical College in Canby. He was studying wind turbine maintenance. Brandon was responsible, close with his family, and well-liked. On May 13th, 2008, he attended an end-of-year party with friends in Canby. He planned to drive home to Marshall afterward, about 30 miles away. It was supposed to be a simple drive home. Instead, it became one of the most baffling missing persons cases in Minnesota history. On May 13th, 2008, Brandon attended a party in Canby with friends. He drank some alcohol, but wasn't heavily intoxicated according to witnesses. Around midnight, he decided to drive home. His parents, Brian and Annette Swanson, expected him home soon. Brandon knew the route. He'd driven it many times. The roads were rural, long stretches of farmland, gravel roads intersecting paved highways, easy to navigate in daylight, more challenging at night. Around 12:30 a.m., Brandon's car went off the road into a ditch. He wasn't injured. The car wasn't badly damaged, but he was stuck. He called his parents for help. Around 1:54 a.m., Brandon called his father, Brian. He explained his car had slid into a ditch on a gravel road. He wasn't hurt, just needed a tow. Brandon said he was near Lind, a small town between Canby and Marshall. His parents lived in Marshall, about 10 miles from Lind. They immediately got in their car to help. Brandon stayed on the phone with them. He described his location, said he could see the lights of a town. He began walking toward the lights while talking to his dad. He wanted to meet them halfway, make it easier to find him. It seemed logical, simple, but nothing about this night would be simple. Brian and Annette drove toward Lind. They flashed their headlights, honked their horn, hoping Brandon would see or hear them. Brandon stayed on the phone. He said he could see their lights. But Brian and Annette couldn't see Brandon. Something was wrong. Brandon's description of his location didn't match where his parents were. They drove back and forth, searched different roads. Brandon kept walking, talking, describing what he saw, fields, roads, town lights in the distance. The call lasted 47 minutes. Brandon seemed frustrated, but not panicked. He was walking, trying to find them. And then, suddenly, something happened. At 2:47 a.m., after 47 minutes on the phone, Brandon suddenly said, "Oh sh," or "Oh shit." The line went dead. Brian immediately tried calling back. No answer. He called again and again. Voicemail. The phone rang, but Brandon didn't pick up. Brian and Annette were terrified. What happened? Did Brandon fall? Get hit by a car? Encounter someone? They drove to every location they could think of, calling his name, searching. At 6:30 a.m., they reported Brandon missing. By sunrise, a massive search was underway, but Brandon had vanished, and his last words gave no clue what happened. Searchers found Brandon's car, but not where he said it was. Brandon told his parents he was near Lind. His car was found near Taunton, 25 miles in the opposite direction from Marshall. Brandon had been completely wrong about his location. He thought he was driving home toward Marshall, but he'd actually driven northwest instead of south. He was disoriented, lost, walking in the wrong direction. This explained why his parents couldn't find him. They were looking in Lind. Brandon was nowhere near there, but knowing where his car was didn't help find Brandon. Where did he walk from that ditch, and what happened to him? The search for Brandon was massive, over 500 volunteers, dozens of law enforcement agencies, search dogs, helicopters. Dive teams searched the Yellow Medicine River, near where his car was found. Searchers walked through fields, checked abandoned buildings, knocked on farmhouse doors. The search covered hundreds of square miles, but they found nothing. No clothing, no phone, no footprints, no body. Brandon had simply vanished. His phone never pinged another tower after that final call. It either died, was destroyed, or was turned off. Brandon's scent trail ended near the river according to search dogs, but no evidence suggested he drowned. The mystery deepened. Theory 1, Brandon accidentally fell into the Yellow Medicine River and drowned. The river was near where his car was found. Search dogs tracked his scent to the riverbank. The river was high and swift that night due to spring runoff. If Brandon fell in, the current could have carried his body miles downstream. But extensive searches of the river found nothing. No clothing, no body. Divers searched multiple times. Sonar scans found nothing. If Brandon drowned, where is his body? The river theory seems logical but lacks evidence. Something else might have happened, but what? Theory 2, Brandon became disoriented and succumbed to the elements. Minnesota nights in May can be cold. Brandon was wearing only jeans and a light jacket. He'd been drinking. He'd been walking for over 45 minutes in the dark. Exhaustion and mild hypothermia could cause confusion, disorientation. He might have collapsed in a field, but searchers covered the area extensively. How could they miss a body? Some believe Brandon fell into an unmarked well, grain bin, or cistern. Rural Minnesota has many. He could have fallen in and been hidden from searchers, but investigators found no evidence of this. The disorientation theory is plausible, but unproven. Theory 3, Brandon encountered someone with bad intentions. His final words, "oh shit," suggest sudden surprise or danger. Did he encounter someone on that dark road? A driver who hit him? Someone who harmed him? But there's no evidence of foul play. No witnesses, no suspects, no body. If someone harmed Brandon, they covered it up perfectly. Some theorize a hit and run. A driver struck Brandon, panicked, and hid the body, but investigators found no evidence. No vehicle damage reported, no suspicious activity. The foul play theory exists, but has no proof. Brandon vanished like a ghost, leaving no trace behind. Brandon's final words haunt the investigation. "Oh shit." What did he see or realize? Some think he realized he was about to fall into the river. Others believe he encountered an animal, a person, a vehicle. Perhaps he saw something that made him realize how lost he really was. Investigators analyzed his tone. It wasn't a scream of terror, more like surprise, realization. But what? His father Brian has replayed that moment in his mind thousands of times. What happened in those final seconds? What did his son encounter? The answer died with Brandon, or remains locked in that dark Minnesota night, waiting to be discovered. Brandon's disappearance led to important changes. His parents, Brian and Annette, lobbied for legislation. In 2009, Minnesota passed Brandon's law. It requires law enforcement to immediately begin searching for missing adults under 21 if there's evidence they're in danger. Previously, police often waited 24 or 48 hours before acting. Brandon's law eliminated that delay. If someone disappears under suspicious circumstances, the search begins immediately. Brandon's case helped countless other families. His legacy is saving lives, bringing people home faster. While his parents never found their son, they ensured other families might have better outcomes. It's a bittersweet legacy, change born from tragedy. Over 16 years have passed since Brandon vanished. His family has never stopped searching. His parents participate in annual searches. Volunteers return year after year, walking the fields, searching the riverbanks, looking for any sign, any clue. New technology like ground-penetrating radar has been used. Investigators continue following leads, but Brandon remains missing. His case is still open. His family holds out hope. Maybe someday someone will find something. A piece of clothing, his phone, his remains, anything to bring closure, to finally answer what happened on that dark Minnesota night. Brandon's mother, Annette, says she won't rest until she brings her son home. Brandon Swanson was 19 years old. He had his whole life ahead of him. He was studying, building a future. One wrong turn on a dark road changed everything. His disappearance remains one of Minnesota's most baffling mysteries. Did he fall into the river? Succumb to the elements? Encounter foul play? Or is there another explanation no one has considered? The truth is out there, somewhere in those fields, along that river, in someone's memory. If you have any information about Brandon Swanson's disappearance, contact the Marshall Police Department. A family is still waiting, still hoping, still searching. This is Cold Trail. Subscribe and join us. Thanks for watching.